Welcome to the 30-Minute Rivals Show. I am Marcus. This is Johnny Odin. Again, we are back here to talk about last week's games, this week's up and coming games for both sides of the rivalry, Ohio State and Michigan. Before we get started, thank you again for giving us your time. Go ahead and like, share, and subscribe. We do these every Tuesday afternoon, and we'll be on Saturdays for the Big at 11 college football kickoff show. So, without further ado, Michigan had a game against who do we play? Minnesota.
Minnesota
Barely got
Golden
out.
Ghost.
Barely got out.
27-24 the final score. We seem to have one of these matchups with Minnesota at least every 2 years, going all the way back to the Hulk era. It's crazy to have beaten a team 77 times and have this many close games with them, but hey, it is what it is. Give me your thoughts on this weekend's game for the good guys.
It seemed like it was going to be what we expected. A nice little blowout. The third quarter, fourth quarter, we putting our feet up, and once and it seemed that way once until Orgy threw that interception. And what's wild about this team? It doesn't have those real leaders like you would think they would be there, but it seems like
at least they haven't defined
trouble.
themselves yet. They haven't. One hasn't emerged. That vocal person, Mike Samerstiel, that kind of person.
Exactly. And you can see it's missing because one interception when you're up 24-3 shouldn't change. Shouldn't flip the momentum like that.
Them boys act like they scored 24 points on one pick. I swear to God they did, because everything changed.
I'm talking about and this is part of the problem too. It didn't just affect the players, the coaches, and I think this is a big part of why the game played out the way it did. Is when he threw that interception, the coaches got Kirk Campbell and Sharon Moore. It goes through him too. So we saw it. They got super conservative.
Yeah.
We're going to come out here in our big running sets and we're going to run it every time. And in turn, you made it predictable.
So much easier to guard.
And you played right into the hands of PJ Fleck of Minnesota to get back in the game.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think first it was a tale of two halves, right? It's a very cliche thing to say at this point, but it really was, man. First half, I think that they were pretty creative in the way that they were using personnel, especially with a lot of the injuries that we had offensively going into that game. I think Colston only played about 15 plays. So, he was limited. Samaj was out. Crippen didn't play. They lost Hinton in the second half. First half, I thought they did a good job of spreading that ball around and keeping Minnesota off balance. We saw some deuce package with Khalil and Donovan Edwards. We saw some packages with Donovan in the slot, running orbital motions or running jet sweep. Man, you know what? I guess I get the happy medium. I don't want to put so much film on it that teams can prepare for it. They can get all the plays mapped out so they can practice all the eventualities of what will come out of that formation. At the same time, it started getting a little stagnant in the second half. I would have liked to see a little bit more of that. You know what I mean? Let's start bringing that guy back behind the quarterback again. Have Alex Orji turn his back to the defense, boot out the other way. Like that stuff looked halfway competent, right? Orji was doing all the things that they said that he couldn't do, right? We're picking up third downs through the air, third and mediums, throwing the ball, right? We're picking up third downs where Alex Orji, instead of chucking the ball in the coverage, we just going to pull it down and run for a first down, right? These are the things that you want to see naturally come along with his game because they're things that we couldn't get before.
And he made some nice plays after that. After that interception, I want to say the drive, our second to last drive, he made some nice throw. He made a nice throw. I don't know if it was two or if it was one, but after that pick, he made a couple nice throws that were like, okay, he looks pretty comfortable in the pocket because early in the game he had happy feet. He was popping. He was doing all the popping. But later on, after the pick, because pressure pressure can either calm you down or it can make you get even worse. You know what I'm saying? When the pressure of the game, not the pass rush,
Sure.
the pressure of the game. Okay, this is win or lose. We're getting to win. We might
We
actually
need to
lose
make a
this.
play. Somebody needs to make a play. Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
seemed like he wasn't doing all that popping. Now it's time that you might have to win this one.
Sure.
So it was nice to see that and hopefully he might have some of that dog in him where when the pressure gets the biggest, he might be that calm. Okay, I play better when it gets to this point.
Sure. And I think like you said, there were a few times where I saw him even in the second half navigating around pressure that was given up early in the offensive line. I think that's going to be important moving forward because it doesn't seem like pass blocking is going to be our thing this year. So that's going to be huge. The fact that he's doing that in his second start, being able to navigate the pocket. If there's one thing that I have not appreciated about our fan base so far this season, it's how hyperbolic they've been about the quarterback situation. It's week 5 of the regular season, and we're still talking about why we didn't go get a transfer quarterback. And it's like, yo, fam, I don't even know what you want from that. Like, DJU went to Florida State, they're 1-4. Will Rogers is at Washington. They've already lost 2 games. Like, it's not the end all be all. It's not the cure all to just have some $1 million quarterback on your roster. I watched Cam Ward and Miami Hurricanes almost lose to Virginia Tech on Friday.
If their schedule wasn't so easy, they would lose it.
They would already have a loss. So it's like, it's not, first of all, it's not an easy fix. Second of all, how exactly were we supposed to convince any one of those guys to come to Michigan when they didn't know whether or not JJ was coming back or whether or not Harbaugh was going to be the coach? And then after Harbaugh was a coach, it took them 2 weeks to hire Sherrone Moore. So where in there were we supposed to go sign this high-end $1 million quarterback? It's dumb.
We were the last to be able to get in the game like that.
Do anything. And you know what your reward for that was? It was a fucking natty. I swear to God, you would think that we were still in the middle of the Hoke era or something. Like we fighting to get out of games with Toledo and barely beating Minnesota. Fam, you just won your 27th straight Big Ten game.
No,
you just won your 27th Big Ten game, and you're acting like you're at the bottom of the Big Ten, man. And I guess I get frustration because the second half was frustrating for me to watch as well. But I don't like the how we're not, and I guess I can't say this for everybody, but there doesn't really seem to be a lot of patience with the guy in his second start. Now, we got a lot of patience in the first 3 games. There was a lot of patience going around. Oh, everybody was preaching praising. Hey, man, the offensive line doesn't look good. Hey, man, the wide receivers aren't getting separation. I ain't heard nobody dog no wide receivers about separation in about 2 weeks. That seems very interesting to me. For the last 2 weeks, the wide receivers have not been the subject of any type of criticism, even though they've had more drops in the last 2 weeks than they had in the first 3. Where's the criticism, yo? Where's the criticism? I would gladly have these conversations with anybody. We have them on the call-in shows with you on Sundays, right? I ain't heard from my boy Steve yet since he said put Jair Hill on the bench. I ain't heard from him.
He been balling. I got to give it up.
He been balling out. Thank God they didn't listen to that because we would have never had a chance to see him. Same thing with your boy Garrison. I see he finally tried to slither back on the stream last night. I didn't hear him. I didn't hear him after the USC game. I didn't see him. I couldn't find him. But that's offensively. Defensively, I think that there's a few things you can do to hurt Michigan's defense.
Mm-hmm.
You can run tempo. Number 1.
We're gonna see that the rest of the year. Every game.
We're gonna see that the rest of the year
until we show it doesn't. It's not a flaw.
Right. And then run a lot of plays. If you run a lot of plays, and those two things go together, right? If you're running tempo, you're obviously going to run a lot of plays. The more plays Michigan's defense is actually on the field, the less effective they are. And that's true for most defenses. But now that it's on tape that they struggle with tempo, it's going to be a consistent struggle because every team's going to try to get out and gain the advantage early. I know people aren't going to want to hear this, you're going to have to blitz more on first down because you're going to have to disrupt teams and get ahead of the chains. You don't want them picking up 6-7 yards on scripted plays. And then now that start, as soon as they do that, you're on the wheel. You're on the hamster wheel. They're not going to stop because now teams think that that's the only way that they can beat you. So that's what they're going to do. You have to disrupt them on early downs and get them up out of that. Now, I kind of like what Wink is doing here more recently over the last couple of weeks, where he's starting the drive with the backup, either the backup edges or the backup interior linemen. And that way, by the time they get out of their scripted stuff, you can put Mason and Kenneth back in, or you can put Josiah and Derek Moore back in. That way, you're not bringing the whole first team defensive line out at one time because they're tired. I actually like that strategy. I like that he puts them out in the middle of the drive, because that's right around the time that they're getting off script and they need, third and medium, third and long. And I'd rather have Mason Graham and Kenneth for that than earlier on in the drive. Those things will be key going forward. Keeping guys healthy too. Josiah and Will were out. I think that played a lot. I don't think we're deep enough to have two of our best guys out.
No.
And
Burrows is out for the season.
Is he really? What was it?
I don't know. I think it's an ACL. I think.
Damn. Yeah, we're thin at nickel. We're thin at nickel. I don't know who can play there.
Jaden Mangum was out last game. Wesley Walker was out last game.
Walker was out. No.
Yeah, so we're thin.
Safety and nickel is very thin right now. So health is paramount.
We thank God Hillman is showing
out,
promise.
Right? Yeah, he's a little hitter. He got a little something on him.
He's gonna clean somebody up. Like he's gonna knock somebody out. Like it's coming. And he's looking for it.
He got that in him. He got that thump in him. I like that.
I always look you always got to beware of the safety. The safety that doesn't wear he doesn't wear sleeves.
He don't wear no gloves.
He don't wear gloves. He just got his fingers taped. Oh, he out here. He out here for one thing.
He want to put something down.
He out here like Sean Taylor. He finna knock somebody out.
Oh my God. Who else? Another great day for Mason Graham. Kenneth Grant, same thing. Rashawn Benny, all of the tackles really was getting in on the work. I even seen Ikawana out there for some snaps. All of that's encouraging, man. I just think that once the offense starts doing that thing of not being able to possess the ball, everything else falls apart. Once we lose that, we start kicking the ball back to the other team constantly, punt, things start going bad for us. When we have some sort of offensive consistency where we can hold the ball, things go well. When we can't possess the ball, things go to shit.
Yeah, and this is the thing right here. Like, if something bad happens, let's say Orji throws a pick or Donovan fumbles or whatever, whoever, it's a turnover from the offense, and we get the ball back. You can't go into this. All right, we're gonna go into a big set and just run it.
Yeah, conservative, way too conservative.
You can't get conservative with obvious, like it's obvious. It's too obvious. Now, if you still, I don't have a problem if you still want to run the ball and get conservative, but don't make it obvious what you're doing. You get what I'm saying? Like,
not that many plus one runs.
Run it. Yeah. Switch it up. Like, come with some creativity. Like, we all get it, but you have to. You can't make it where the defense is like, okay, gotcha. We're about to get the ball back. Because that's what they're doing when they see that. Like, it's just too obvious, So
no, I agree. No reads in the second half.
Harbaugh could do that. Harbaugh could do that. He had teams that were loaded. Like, okay, you mentoring them boys. We can go into a shell. We're gonna kick it to you. We might score off of kicking it to you. We might get a Sainer still pick six, or who knows what we're gonna get. We know you're not going to score. That's
right.
That's
you're not going to score. Yeah, you're not scoring.
So we'll kick it back to you. We'll run it 3 times and be happy to kick it back to you. You're not going to score. We'll win this 27-3 or 27-6. You might get another field goal, but you don't have the luxury to do that. You have to you have to keep cooking on offense for the most part. Like you have to.
And what's killing me is that they have a hell of a field goal kicker. I think they can score from just about anywhere on the other side of the 50. Bam. Just get there. You know, if you have to pick up probably with Michigan's average starting field position, I think it was their own 35. So that's roughly 2 first downs.
No,
2 first downs for field goal range. If you can't pick up 2 first downs a drive, you know what I mean? Like, that's on everybody. That's on quarterback. That's on offensive line. That's on the play caller. If you don't have a script in your book to pick up 2 first downs, what are we doing? What are we doing?
Yeah.
So, survival mode versus Minnesota. We survive in advance. Next week we go out to Washington. Right? Got the Huskies. They're coming off a loss to Rutgers here last Friday night, where they put up over 500 total yards of offense and only scored 18 points. I'm not really sure what to make of that. I don't know if they're offensive juggernaut that just can't score touchdowns, or if Rutgers had a bad night at the office and they just forced them to a bunch of field goals. But
they
can't make
score in the red zone.
Red zone, okay.
Yep. You know, that'll kill you every time.
True. And then even on the last drive, they're trying to get in position to kick a field goal. Field goal kicker can't make a 30-yard or so.
Yeah, they field goal kicker. He's struggling. So that's a plus for us.
Yep. I don't see a lot of complication in there other than Will Rogers in the passing game. I think Wink will have a plan for that. I think
they do a lot of the quick passing with Giles and them boys.
So again, you already know what the game plan is going to be. Obviously, with Jed Fish in the passing offense that got out there, especially what's on tape with Michigan already. I anticipate a lot of tempo from the get-go. If they do get up in this game, you have to start getting back into that Bo Strichter mentality. Like, don't let up. This team is not last year's team. 145 is not 144. We don't have the amount of depth. We don't have the leaders, as you said. That is something that I'll look to see here in the coming weeks. Like, who steps up and grabs the team? The next time we get up 20-7 or 24-3 or whatever like that, who grabs the team by the face mask and said, we're not fucking giving up this lead? Okay.
Yeah.
We're putting this game to bed.
I think we got leaders that are they're kind of, I'm gonna do it on the field. But Mikey, JJ, you know, those dudes were vocal kind of leaders. You know what I'm saying? You can go to the Ohio State game. We get up early. JJ, don't get too high. Don't get too high. You can go to the fourth quarter. Sainer still fourth quarter. We about to take the, you know, those real vocal leaders on and off the field. I think we're missing that off the field when guys are on the sideline, keeping them focused. You get what I'm saying?
I think that's what. Yeah, I think not having Rod Moore playing is probably where that hurts the most. Is because he was ready to slide into that role of being the field general, getting everybody lined up like they needed to be, making sure everybody's got the right calls, we're in right positions. I think that on top of obviously what he provides athletically is where we miss Rod the most, because I feel like that's a bona fide leader since the day he's been on the campus. So we'll see who else steps up. We need somebody.
Makari it seemed like he was going to step in the role. I mean, it really is his turn, but he's
one of those guys that's not vocal, like you said. He's not talking. He's not in guys' faces. Yeah. No.
You know,
I don't know. I don't know who that guy is. Even Mason Graham and Kenneth are more like mild mannered guys. They're not.
Yeah, and they just gonna show you.
Yeah, they're just gonna show up and do it. They need a vocal leader.
Like Will is too. He seems like more of a, I'm just gonna make a play. I'm just gonna make a play. You know what I'm saying? So we somebody's got to
do it though. Yeah, this ship needs a rudder for sure. We're kind of all over the place. So, what are we talking about? Washington. What are some of the things you think we got to do better? We have to improve on offensively for Washington next week.
Offensively against Washington, I wouldn't expect to see us throw it too much. Washington has a really good secondary. So if you're expecting to see them try to open it up, you probably won't see that, you know. And we're on the road, crowd noise and everything, dealing with that. You're probably going to get a heavy dose of the run game, you know. But I want to see the creativity. I want to see the dual back sets. Like, you're going to need them. You're on the road. You need to come out early and establish ourselves, put points on the board. So I'd like to see a lot of that creativity in the run game, and which creates confusion.
Yeah.
We don't want to just line up. We're not good enough to just line up every time in the same formation like Harbaugh and just beat
It's
you.
just push you out the way.
Yeah, it's just not gonna happen. It's just not gonna happen that way.
Like, we all know what's about to happen. Can y'all
Yeah.
stop it?
Yep.
We don't have the talent this year to do that. So you have to do the creativity. Bringing Donovan, having both backs in, splitting Donovan out. It causes a lot of confusion. But this is the thing that I really want to see. Well, let me ask you this first. Do you think we're running reads with Orji? I don't think those are reads.
Not enough. Not enough.
I
Too
think
often.
they're fakes. I think they're kind of bluffs. Like, they're really handoffs, and he's just doing the fake.
Okay.
That's what I
There's a
think.
few things.
There's a few things.
They're running bluffs, they're running zone read, they're running just +1 quarterback runs like power or sweep, right?
Yeah.
In this game, it was much more bluffs and then just kind of like naked boots, play action boots. There were a few design runs in there, but not nearly enough. For me, those power plays, those duo runs, those inside zones where we're not getting them off, where we're not really getting a lot. Like, I think even Khalil was under 5 yards a carry this game. So, like, a lot of the in-between tackle stuff, maybe we put reads on those. Like, I honestly don't understand why it's not on any of our standard runs, like, as a automatic, because it just kind of nullifies the effect that Alex Orji has on the defense. The first score that Khalil Mullins had, that was a read. And you can tell by Alex. Yeah,
that pistol read has cooked pretty much every time I've seen it. Whether he kept
and the reason
it or
why it does, when Alex Orji fixes his orientation, right, like he's getting ready to ride and pull it and go around the corner. Who was it? It was the linebacker, the safety. Everybody on that left side of the field took a pause, and that gave Evan Link just enough time to get on the other side of that guy so Khalil could go to a touchdown. Right? Just enough time. That slight little that hesitation. People they look at his passing. Oh man, he only had 12 yards rushing. We were promised a runner. He's supposed to have 100 yards rushing already. Number one, they got to call the game for that to happen. Like, you have to call the plays to get those type of runs.
Good big time runs without the play and the blocking. You know what I'm saying?
He had 12 carries, and I would say 6 of those were probably improv runs.
Yeah, they were scrambles. They were trying to do something like.
So, like, I'm not. If you have to call the quarterback running game, and then number two, that's not what you make the change for. You make the change because him standing back there handing the ball off affects everybody else on the defense. That's not something that Davis Warren is able to do.
Yeah.
It's not something that he's able to do. He can't affect the run game by handing it off.
No.
So
I don't think.
Yes, more reads.
Don't think any of our quarterbacks except Orji bring that. That's what he brings to the table. He can help in something that's not going to be on his stat sheet.
Exactly. And then defensively, what are you thinking?
Defensively, Wink's got to do something about that. With like the quick game, and Washington has their running back is good. Like, he's a pretty good running back. Jedd Fisch, he gets away from the run game.
I said that last week. I was like, I felt like they could run the ball effectively, but they just get away from it so quick.
Let's hope that he does that this week. Because if you really want to establish the run, sometimes you got to be knuckleheaded with it and stubborn with it, and then when it's working, you got to stick with it. You might have a big game. It seems like he could have monster games and he goes away from it. So going against Michigan, you would think that he would want to really try to establish the run to keep us honest. But some coaches, that's not my game. I'm gonna do what I do. We're gonna do this quick game.
I think it's easy to discourage him from running the ball. And plus, even still with Michigan's defense, the one thing that they've been all 5 games so far has been defending the run.
Yeah, Michigan is giving up, I want to say 65 rushing yards a game.
Yeah, we're doing phenomenal in run defense. So if we can make them one dimensional early and then win first down, I think this should be pretty good win on the road there for the good guys. Now, unfortunately, before we get out of here, we definitely got to talk about the Ohio State Buckeyes down here in Columbus. They had a big weekend out in East Lansing. All right, Jeremiah Smith, 2 one-handed catches, one from what do you got? One from Devin Brown, I think.
I think both of them were from Devin Brown.
Some of the things I saw in this game, because for a while it was back and forth between that and the Alabama-Georgia game. I think Michigan State has the ability to move the ball. I think they, even as much yardage as they put up with, what's the receiver, Glover and Marsh and Giles, they're still a little bit underrated because I think they can get that versus good defenses. They just turn the ball over like crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, watching that first half was absolutely insane. If you were just watching the box score, you probably think, "Oh, Ohio State's blowing them out like they were supposed to."
Mm-hmm.
Hey, listen, man, that game was supposed to look a lot different. At least in the first half, it was supposed to look a lot different than what it actually turned out to be, and they were moving pretty easily, actually. And it just seemed like every time they would get in position to go down and score, Giles couldn't help himself but give the ball away. So that's one point. How effective is a run game versus Ohio State really? And we'll see that with Iowa because they've got a guy in the backfield that's up around the top of the nation in rushing right now. So, plus they've got a guy at quarterback that's beating Ohio State throwing for only around 70 yards. So, you know what I'm saying? He knows how to do. He knows what to do. He knows how to hand that ball off. You know what I mean? But I think go.
I got a question real quick. I didn't watch all of that game, so I missed some of it. How did Will Howard get hurt? Did you see?
Yeah, I did. So it's funny with him, man. There are times where he looks like a very efficient, seasoned veteran quarterback. And then there are other times where he just does nutty shit. Right? The pick he threw wasn't great. It was another one of those head scratchers, another one of those why did you throw that kind of throws. The play he got hurt on, he was throwing a corner, I think, to G. Scott, and it was a blitz coming. The guy hit him up underneath the ribs, but it didn't look like anything that was going to keep him out for too long. It was just one play.
Got you. But yeah,
but you pressure Will Howard, he gives you one of those "what the fuck were you doing" type plays.
He's got some bonehead in him. He's got some bonehead in him. And I was talking to Josh about this a couple weeks ago. What is this game on the road or are they at home? Or are they in Iowa?
Good question. Let me see.
I was gonna bring their hard hat on defense. The question
they're going to Columbus.
It's
a home game, but yeah, that's tough. That's tough. That's tough.
That's gonna be tough for them because Iowa's defense is gonna give it all they got.
Sure.
But the question is going to be, can the Iowa offense do their part? Can you play complementary football and can you get some chunk plays? The running back will probably give them a few chunk plays. He's good. But Kincaid, whether it's off a trickeration, whether something, kind of like when we beat them, I mean, Haskins went crazy, but you saw flea flickers, you saw different things to get chunk plays in the passing game or in the run game with it not being Haskins, reverses and things like that, jet sweep with AJ Henning, How can we get chunk plays,
That's a fact.
That's going to be the thing.
They I think Aiden Childs was 13 of 19 for 167 and he had I think he had 2 or 3 interceptions. But it was like they didn't need a lot. They leave a lot underneath, right? They leave a lot underneath. Hitches, slants are there. They're definitely there. And then offensively, I think they still have trouble with third and shorts.
I think
Really?
they still have trouble running the ball on third down. A couple of times they threw it, and I was kind of convincing myself, okay, well, he's keeping them off balance, right? It was obvious running down, but then they ran it on a third and short and got blew up. So I'm like, that DNA might still be the same, baby. If you the plan might still be the same thing: run the ball at them, hit timely throws, make them one dimensional on offense, and we might get out of here with a dub, baby. It's there are things they are putting things on tape, just like we putting stuff on tape that shows weaknesses, and that just happens over the course of a football game.
And that's the thing. Just like you said, on defense, you shut that run game down, and you force Will Howard to show you he can make big time
with his arm,
not with his legs. Because I had Garrison on, and I asked him about, do you trust Will Howard in those big games? Because to win a championship, he's gonna have to make some throws sooner or later. And he didn't really answer the question. He kind of went to his legs. Like it wasn't a confident, he can. I believe he can. It was more of a,
he'll be able to use his legs to get it done.
Yeah. Did you see it? Yeah. So
a little bit. Yeah.
So they don't trust him just yet either.
Not completely, and they're going to have to see him do it versus a big team before they finally get that confidence. I keep going back to what Will Howard was at Kansas State, right? It was a guy that led a prolific running offense with Deuce McAllister and all the tailbacks they had there, but it was never we're going to go out here and win on Will Howard's arm. We're going to win this game on his arm. It was never we're going to go out here and win on his legs either, right? It was you be efficient, protect the football, get us in position to win late. Like that is what they asked Will Howard to do. They were not putting the whole entire offense on his shoulders. So if this is a thing of, well, all right, well, if we do get the running game shut down and you're dependent on Will Howard to win the game with his legs, that's a bet I'll place. I'll bet that.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see. And it's going to be interesting to see their offense going against a Iowa defense that's always well coached and is always physical. And they're going to be in that cover 4 most of the time. And you're going to have to be patient. It's not a we're going to get a bunch of big time plays. You're going to have to slowly matriculate down the field, because if you try to force it deep or something, you're going to throw a pick.
Iowa's not going to get. They're not going to be so afraid of Ohio State's weapons that they're going to back off and give you a ton of space and play differential football to you. They're not going to do that. They're going to make you play within the confines of the game they want you to play in. So they're going to play a lot of zone, a lot of temp, a lot of quarters, like you said, and they're not going to just allow you to throw over the top of them. You're going to take what's allowed, be efficient, and play at a high percentage. If Will Howard is hovering somewhere around 50% this game, I don't know where this is going to go for Ohio State. Because again, I don't think they're just going to be able to drop back and throw the ball all night if they don't have some sort of resemblance of balance in the running game. And I think Iowa is one of the defenses in this league that can make you one-dimensional. So it'll be interesting to see who wins out, right? Can Ohio State pass them out of that? Or is Iowa going to make it a long night for Will Howard in the offense? We'll just have to see how it plays out.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see. Let me give Josh's take. We're gonna run right over Iowa.
Okay. All right.
I ain't got a chance.
That's basically where he's thinking too. I bet.
We're gonna steam.
Iowa doesn't have a chance.
He be whispering what he be saying. We're gonna steamroll Iowa.
Caleb Brown gonna come out here and have 200 yards. Watch. We're gonna have 200 yards.
And I've been watching a lot of Ohio State stuff, like I always do. And Sonny Styles, the talk is about Sonny Styles. Sonny Styles isn't playing that well, And I mean, he's a freak of nature. So I guess you could say similar to Barham, freak of nature dudes that you don't want to take them off the field, because if he gets it, this dude is gonna be a monster, but he's kind of struggling right now.
Sonny Styles been there for years, though. He was gonna play the jack.
Yeah,
He was gonna play safety. He was going. Now we playing middle linebacker and still ain't got it. I think y'all need to settle Sonny down. Okay, I think y'all need to settle on Sonny down.
That freak of nature is, that the freak of nature is always gets the benefit of the doubt with the coaches.
Yeah, they'll get a chance.
Yep. If he gets it, he's gonna be a monster.
When he gonna get it? When is he gonna get? First of all, if my memory strikes me right, I think that was Sonny Styles that got his jock strap stretched out all over the field in the big house on that Blake Horn run last year. But stick him in the box. Okay, cool. Sounds great. I don't really know. I think the other guy, Zero, is their better linebacker that they got. Cody Simon. I think that's the one that they lean on a little bit more. I don't know what to make of Sonny Styles. He's their version of Khaleke Hudson. Only Khaleke Hudson played his role, so I don't even know if he can be Khaleke Hudson. I don't know.
Yeah. Rashawn Gary,
maybe, but who
would you take? Would be that.
Would you take Sonny Styles or Rashawn Gary? I think I'm still taking Rashawn Gary. Rashawn Gary was only a bust because he was the number one player in high school.
He did probably do more. I'm just trying to, somebody that you think kind of
comparable. Yeah, somebody who just didn't work out. It's you know who is starting to be? Omarion.
Who's that?
Omarion. Omarion Stewart's starting to be like Sonny Styles. He better get his ass on the field doing something here pretty soon. I'm gonna start calling him Sonny Styles. But we shall see, man. We'll see what happens.
What's going on with him? Your guess is good as mine.
Hey, brother, make a break time now. You a junior? It's time.
If saying all this, if Iowa can't play complimentary football, they're gonna get a slow butt whooping. It's coming. You know what I'm saying? The same way we did them in the Big Ten championship. Those both times we faced them, and both times if they don't play complimentary football and can't get sustained drives, get big plays, they're gonna get a control butt whooping.
Agreed. I'm not gonna give a score prediction yet. I'll give one on Saturday on the Big at 11 kickoff show. Y'all make sure y'all tune in. I have Johnny Yoden with me or Josh. I don't know who's doing it this weekend. We'll figure it out. But you be there. You know what I'm saying? Johnny, tell them where they can find you.
Yep, you can find me on YouTube. My name, Johnny Olden Jr., cooking up pregame. Sunday I do the lives. Marcus joins me sometimes, and call-in shows. You can say your piece, even Buckeyes. It's all good, but check me out on Johnny Olden Jr.
I was seething a little bit on Sunday. We got done with the pod, and I was like, you know what? I don't even want to talk to these folks. I already know what I'm in here. Oh, the quarterback, so terrible. Oh, we need to fire all the coaches. Man, if y'all don't take this 4-1, if y'all don't take this 4-1 and stop playing. Anywho, like, share, subscribe. Appreciate you all.